Greetings, lads and ladettes. It is your main dummy thick man, Leon Blight here, and today we have a patch video. Finally, it has been. So, if we're going to check the history here, you can see that the last patch we had was on June 29. So, it has been a solid 3 weeks since the last patch to Nova and Dino, and now we finally have a new patch. This is very fresh. We're all going to go through it blindly. This is the first time I'm gonna read through it. Um, so hopefully we get some really good changes in the and we get a new meta from the past 3 weeks that we've had. So let's get into it. We're going to do a classic read through the entire patch, see if I have any initial reactions. Then after we read through everything, I'll go back to interesting points, elaborate on some stuff, and just generally have a good time. All right. So patch notes, July 19. Some patch highlights first. We've introduced a new feature, Nexus events. These are limited time events that offer new cards, variants, avatars, and more. Nexus events are available in the shop and can be purchased with gold. Read the event detail blog for more information. So Nexus events are basically the banners now. So we finally have banners in uh, Marvel Snap, which is appropriate because it is a mobile game. So yeah, we have banners for cards. All right. Weekly mission system has been completely overhauled, allowing players much more flexibility on when and how they'd like to earn rewards. Oh, yeah, this is nice because weekly missions restricted you to having to play every day unless you wanted to miss out on your gold and your credits because you had to play at least 6 out of the 7 days in a week. That was crazy for some people. So yeah, it's more casual friendly now. Sometimes some days you can't play. All right. Update to the collection level road. We're changing card and mystery rewards in the CLR at location level 500 plus to collector's caches and collector's reserve caches. This will cause players to get significantly more credits, gold, and variants, as well as doubling the pace of card rewards. Oh my, for players above 1-5 collection level. Read the deep dive blog for more information. Oh, this is just a straight up buff to the collection level road. Okay, so it basically says significantly more credits, gold, and variants, and then it doubles the pace of getting the cards uh, for players above 1-5 collection level. Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm at 688, so this affects people who are already 500 plus. Okay, that's good. That's just generally good. We're continuing to test, iterate, and improve. Please keep sharing your thoughts and feedback. So shout out to everyone who gives feedback on the Discord. That one's commended for you. All right, game updates. New feature. Nexus events. Nexus events are limited time events that offer new cards, variants, avatars, and more. They are available in the shop and can be purchased with gold. Okay, we saw that already. General, collector's caches. We're changing card and mystery rewards in the collection level road at collection level 500 plus. The collector's cache and collector's reserve cache. This will cause players to get okay, same thing as a while ago. Card emojis. Card emojis. You can now leave emoji responses on cards after they've been played. Oh, yo. That means each card you can assign an emoji to each card. Holy jeez. Alright, that's a huge buff. Card upgrade visuals and sound effects have been updated. Check it out next time you upgrade any of your cards. Okay. So they added improved visuals and sound effects. So maybe they added more voice lines. Hopefully that's the case. But sound effects is more sound effects and not voice lines. Okay. So they upgraded the quality of visuals and sound effects on card rarities. Alright. Season cache. Season rewards for level 51 and beyond have been updated to the season cache. which can contain credits boosters or sometimes even golden variants. Okay, that's season rewards. That's basically the ranked tiers, I believe. Yeah. Okay. I'll assume it's the rank. It's your rank tiers. So rank 50 plus, they get season cash now. Since we are adding so many other ways to purchase credits in this patch, credit purchases in the shop are now limited to one purchase per day for each tier. Okay, so it used to be, I believe, you could convert gold into credits unlimitedly. The classic 400 to 500, I believe. Yeah. And now they put a cap to once per day. All right. Slight nerf to whales. Added tier title to your rank in the ranked rewards menu to make it easier to understand your current rank. Tier title. Okay. It just adds the title. So if you're infinite, it doesn't just show the logo anymore, it also shows the title. Added report a bug feature to the settings menu that allows players to directly report bugs in game. Nice. Now you don't just people who don't want to join Discord, they can just use the in-game report feature if they ever encounter bugs. All right. Good stuff. Okay, missions now. Weekly rewards have been split into more pieces, and we've changed the system to allow for more flexibility. As long as you complete 35 daily missions in a week, you can claim all the weekly rewards. Okay, so they made the weekly rewards more flexible. The old system for weekly rewards, daily, every time you have a daily reset, you had to complete two minor missions. When you turn in two minor missions, the daily mission is unlocked. And when you turn in your daily mission, it logs into the weekly reward. And you have to hit 6 out of 7 days in the weekly reward to claim the gold, the large amount of gold and credits. Instead of having to turn in two missions per day, you are given the entire week to turn in 35 missions. Okay, so considering 7 days, right? 6 times 2, 24. So instead of having to do 24 daily missions, you now have to do 35. But it's not locked into daily limits now, so you don't necessarily have to play every day. As long as you don't let your mission log clog and full up, you can like complete the missions, turn in, and within the week, as long as you turn in 35 missions, you're good. You get all the gold and the credits. So okay, it's a general buff for time flexibility. So yeah, I consider this a dub. So in case you got home from work, you had a busy day, you're lying down on your bed, maybe you have like an hour to play, you clear like 6 missions in that hour, and then reset daily. If you're in that like smaller window of play, this one's better for you. So yeah. Good buff to mission weekly reward flexibility. Alright. Fancy new UI to make it easier to claim daily and season missions with less taps. UI change? I mean upgrade? To add even more flexibility to complete the weekly mission, you can now use gold to buy an extra mission refresh up to 3 times a day. Okay. So they're allowing you to use gold to get more missions. Okay, yeah. It is what it is. You're allowed to refresh by mission refresh. This means you'll get 2 additional missions. And if you're allowed up to a maximum of spending gold to get 3 mission refreshes per day, that's like that's a buff to whales, cause now whales can get more credits per day. You can get 6 extra missions per day if you're spending. Otherwise, if you need to like rush a weekly reward and you're out of time, then you might have to do that if you're at the tail end of the week. So yeah, that's okay. That's pretty good. Added handy notifications that you've made progress towards missions on the main screen after a match. Okay, okay. So it used to be when you finish games, you had to always check in the missions tab on regarding the progress for the missions. Now, every time post game, post match screen, it shows the progress toward missions. Oh, yeah, that's nice. We've made an update to mission rules. You no longer make mission progress if you retreat on turn 1, 2, or 3, unless your opponent's snapped. Oh, yeah, okay, that's huge. You no longer make mission progress if you retreat on 1, 2, or 3, unless your opponent snapped. Okay. So, no more turn 1 squirrel girl retreat into easy mission progress. So, you either have to reach turn 4, or if any time during turns 1 to 3 your opponent snapped, take note your opponent has to be the one snapping and not you. So you can't go squirrel girl snap into retreat, So yeah. They made mission farming, they nerfed it. They nerfed mission farming. So yeah. Also, about this mission refresh, oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a buff. So instead, because they nerfed they said that they limited the amount of times you could buy credits from gold into once per day. So those who want to be farming credits with gold can do the mission refresh now as well. Okay. Which means you have to play the game more. So it's a win-win, I guess. All right, good stuff. Good stuff on missions. I generally like it. Okay. Art and visual effects updates. Oh, this is important stuff. Updated card visual effects for Blue Marvel and Doctor Strange. Oh, nice. Added location visual effects for Atlantis and Nidavellir. Okay, that's nice. Audio updates. New card effects for Forge, Morph, Nova, Okoye, Strong Guy, and Scarlet Witch. So they now have card sound effects. Not sure, not can't confirm yet if they're just sound effects or voice lines or both. New location sound effects for Atlantis, Danger Room, and Nidavellir. Okay. And new sound effects added for collection level road. Okay, so when you're leveling stuff in the collection, they have sound effects now. Alright, that's nice. Oh, okay. Now we're into the juicy stuff. You might have seen a bit already, but let's get in there. Let's talk about cards. Balance updates now on the cards. Alright, America Chavez. From a 6'10 down to a 6'9. They nerfed one point of power. America Chavez sees a very high amount of play in various deck archetypes right now. We are nerfing her power down to make other options more enticing. Fair enough. America Chavez as a 6'9 seems more playable. Does the 1 point matter? The 1 point matters. Every point matters, like no doubt. So, um, okay. Let's go next. See, let's go back to the changes. Deep dive later. Crossbones 4-8. You can play this at locations when you are winning. It's still the same. This is mostly a wording change. It only really affects Crossbones' interaction with Bar with No Name. We think this new text will make the card clearer and easier to understand quickly. Did they change it again? Excuse me. Might have changed it. Not sure if they changed it again or this one's from last time, but yeah. So Crossbones still does the same thing. Ebony Maw gets a buff, 1/6 to a 1/7. We are giving Ebony Maw a bit more power to make playing around these heavy limitations more rewarding. Oh, yeah, that's nice. So I know like one Ebony Maw player, and they make Ebony Maw look good. So now Ebony Maw is better. As a 1/7, that's nice. So, good power drop on turns 1 to 3. It can like force. Yeah, Ebony Maw does really uh strange things for your deck. But definitely a playable card. more playable now, so that's a nice buff to Ebony Maw. Ghost Rider nerf. They nerfed Ghost Rider's mana cost from a 3/3 to a 4/3. Ghost Rider will often be an outlier in power due to the amount of power he can cheat out. We are nerfing his cost to make his resurrection come at a higher price. Ghost Rider on 4 is interesting. It makes spots on curves much more crazy now. So there's no more return to Lady Sif into turn 3 Rider. And then your 4, 5, 6 can be like more decisive because like the latter half turns are good. So Ghost Rider becomes a early half play into a latter half play, and if you want to play it later on with Sif, you can do Sif Rider on 6 instead of being able to do it on 5. So it used to be you could Sif Rider on 5 and play a 6 drop on 6. Won't be the case anymore. Okay. Good nerf to Rider. Kazar. This is how they nerf Kazar? I mean, there wasn't really much other ways to nerf it. But like, could have nerfed it more. Anyway, the nerf is it is 4/5. It's now a 4/4. They nerfed one power. Kazar tends to be a bit too much power right now, so we're taking his base power down a notch. The problem wasn't in the base power, right? The problem was in the ability. Okay, let's get back to that later. Okoye, they nerfed it. They nerfed Okoye. From a 1/1, they bumped her up to a 2/2. Okoye as a 1 cost proved to be too powerful as an opener. Ah, yes. So we are nerfing her to a 2 cost and giving her a little extra power, of course. So another adjustment, they realized that having Okoye in the opening hand and playing it on turn 1, making it uh essentially a 1/7, possibly a 1/7 was kind of crazy. So they made it so you had to play it a turn later if it was in your hand. Okay, that's nice. Scarlet Witch. They adjusted Scarlet Witch. From a 1/2, it is now a 2/3. Scarlet Witch is a bit too good at working around location selections right now. We are making her power a bit more costly to preserve the stability of our locations from her reality warping. The implication of Scarlet Witch becoming a 2 drop is huge. Like, don't sleep on this. So Scarlet Witch used to be one of, if not the, okay, maybe just one of the most powerful 1 drop tech cards ever, having the ability to change a location into a random one. It's really huge. So now they adjusted it from a 1/2 to a 2/3, being a Scorpion stat line now. Scarlet Witch, definitely, that's a nerf in general, because mana cost nerfs increases are like crazy. So yeah, let's get back to that later. Scorpion 3/3. Oh my! They did it! They did it! This is the answer to Kazar now. So they adjusted Scorpion from a 3/3 to a 2/2. Scorpion is a rather weak card right now. With this change, players should have much more freedom in how they utilize him. Alright, so that they finally thought instead of nerfing Kazar to the ground, since Kazar players wanted to hold 1 drops in the hand, play Kazar and then go explode on the board, they finally give you that option to Scorpion earlier. I was hoping they didn't adjust the power as well. I feel like Scorpion could be a shocker stat line with it as a 2/3, but okay, that's good. That's good. That's generally good. So instead of nerfing the power for the player playing Kazar, they gave options for players playing against it now. That's nice. Oh my! The next change we have, Strong Guy from a 2/3 is now a 4/4. Strong Guy was a very clear outlier in his power as a two-cost card. Yes, I agree. We also want him to be more of a build-around card to provide an empty hand avenue in the discard archetype. So we are increasing his cost and giving him a small power boost to compensate. This is a huge nerf to Strong Guy. Oh my, probably one of the largest of nerfs. Oh my gosh. They butchered him. Strong Guy as a 4 drop is nigh unplayable now. Because you always want your proactive cards to be low costed in discard decks. That way you could play your discard enablers earlier, right? So this kind of ruins that whole game plan now. Let's get back to that later. So yeah, Strong Guy, big, huge nerf, colossal nerf, probably the largest one so far. All right, Jubilee. They changed the effect. Old. On reveal, play the top card of your deck to this location. Now is on reveal, play a card from your deck to this location. So it is random now. It's no longer the top card. Jubilee's previous functionality had some unintended interactions with America Chavez, causing her to frequently pull Chavez, creating a near guarantee 4 energy 11 power play, which was not desired nor intended. Alright, that's good. So once again, I'll briefly mention the interaction, how it used to be. Because when you load into a match, the card shuffler places an index on every card on your deck, and that index is followed by the card order of drawn from your deck. And America Chavez could be given an index of anywhere from the first half from 1 to 6. But since America Chavez has the effect of being drawn at the last turn, it will skip that draw from the top of your deck, but it will remain at the top of your deck. So it used to be all the time that if America Chavez was placed there by index, Jubilee would identify Chavez to be the top card, even though it won't be drawn until the last turn. So yeah, Jubilee had a super high pull rate on Chavez, as the devs mentioned to be a 4 mana 11 power play, which was kind of broken. Yeah, it was nearly broken. So now instead of pulling the top card, it now pulls a random card from your deck anywhere in the index. That's nice. Pray your locations don't flip. Uh, Shuffle 5 rocks, and or else your Jubilee will have a bad time. Okay. Moving on, Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster now no longer grants his cost to the attached card. Okay. Hulkbuster affecting cost turned out to be largely unexpected by players. After further consideration, we believe this update will create more interesting and exciting gameplay and deck building experiences for players. I have not seen anyone play Hulkbuster decks, nor have I seen them uh, have this sort of interaction, nor have I, because I've never played with the card. No longer grants its cost to the attached card. I think this affects something like cloning vats. There you go. I believe it used to be if you had like multiple man, so multiple man, and then you played Hulkbuster. Instead of it becoming the copy you should be getting is a copy of multiple man with the buffed stats from Hulkbuster. Instead, what you got was also including the mana cost. So instead of getting uh so that's 3 plus 4 7. So instead of getting a 2/7, you're supposed to get a 2/7 from cloning vats post Hulkbuster resolution. It instead gives you a 5/7. It gives you a 5/7 multiple man, which is not what you want to have happen. So now, instead of adding the cost, the cost won't be attached as well, just the power. So that's good. It's generally a Hulkbuster buff. Good job. All right. Oh my! This is their answer! Killmonger and Sandman. Available earlier on the collection level road. This is it. This is their answer. This is the answer to KAZAR. So they're like, okay, instead of severely nerfing KAZAR in the KAZAR archetypes, because the problem with having to nerf KAZAR, you'd either have to destroy his identity, which is not what you want to do. The identity being I buff one cost cards by +1. Instead of destroying that, instead they gave you the hate cards earlier. So what are the hate cards here? These are the hate cards. Killmonger. Sandman's also a hate card, but he's one of the weaker ones. And earlier as well, they buffed Scorpion. So we like to make sure players have tools to counter major strategies before they get too deep in the collection level road. We hope that moving these cards earlier in the collection level road will give players more options to deal with low cost go wide decks. They don't even hide it. They know. They're telling it right here in the earlier stages of collection. If you're already deep in the road and haven't found these cards, your next two cards will be Killmonger and Sandman. Oh my god. If you're already deep, your next two cards are guaranteed to be Killmonger and Sandman. Did they move it down a pool? Is it in pool 2 now? Are Killmonger and Sandman in pool 2? They might be. They don't mention about the pool system in here, like, for reasons. But I'd like to safely assume they moved Killmonger and Sandman to pool 2. So they're saying here if you're already in pool 3 or if you're somewhere along pool 2, Killmonger and Sandman will be there. Will be pullable there. So yeah, they're very on the nose with it. They're like, okay, we didn't want to completely destroy the identity of the previous strategy. Instead, we'll give you the rock paper hate tool that is Killmonger and Sandman to deal with KAZAR. Alright, so that's nice. The rock paper scissors meta might be the one. Alright, exciting stuff. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on to the final portions, the general updates and the bug fixes. So, general updates. Thor can now appear from effects that add random cards, such as Agent 13 or X Mansion. Okay, just coding stuff. Thor was not in the pool before, now it is. Bug fixes. Attempting to fix an issue with getting stuck on waiting for turn if no cards are played. I've had this once, maybe twice. Very terrible bug. Glad they're attempting to fix it. Navigation bar notification for upgradable cards in the collection does not show unless you have enough credits to upgrade the card. Okay, that's good. Lots of card art fixes. Huge. Lots of fixes for the collection level road. Also huge. Fixed several and location visual effects that play to the incorrect place on the screen. Yeah. Usually these are the auras. The ones with ongoing, they usually have auras behind them. And when the cards move, sometimes they leave behind the auras and such. So good they fix that. Filtering to cards while editing your deck no longer causes the card to be grayed out. Yeah, that's was still a problem. Sometimes you press the filter after you select filters, everything's just grayed out, and then you had to close and open it again. Good fix. Improve the power update calculation speed of several cards. Devil Dino. So this is animation animation speed buff. Used to be you had to wait like 10 seconds for the entire thing to resolve. Oh, yeah, that's good. Hopefully that's the change. That's what I'm getting. Because improved calculating speed. Okay. Turn down the brightness on the booster icon. Nice. Morph should now display properly after turning into another card. Okay, Morph is a weird card. Morph buff, I guess. Fixed several location visual effects that don't move if the locations are shuffled. Okay, nice. There was I think that it was thrown something. The location that moved locations left or right. It adjusts the visual effects now of other locations. Miniaturized lab now displays properly on Android. Buff to Android players. Lemuria should now use the correct art. That's good. Fixed Chavez Dino with Weird World not working correctly. I still believe this is with regards to drawing from your opponent's deck. Because it used to be if you had Weird World and you had Chavez in your deck on the final turn, instead of drawing a card from your opponent's deck, it still draws your Chavez from your own deck. So they might have fixed it where you draw from your opponent's deck this time. Okay. Fixed a bug where location power would not update correctly after resolving Green Goblin or Hobgoblin in a location with Professor X. I've never had that happen, but that's good. Renamed Ultra Legendary Rarity to Ultra. Ay, that's nice, cause Ultra Legendary was a darn mouthful. Adjusted spacing between decks in card collections. Okay, space buff or nerf depending. Fixed an interaction between the collector and Sabretooth that would cause a crash. I did not know this, so that's nice. Collector and Sabretooth. Aye. That's it. That's the entire batch. Stuff I wanna get back to. So Nexus events is gacha banner, standard mobile stuff. Collector's Cache, they buffed the collection levels. That's good. They buffed missions in general. They made it more whale friendly as well. Okay. Uh, art, visual, and audio is always good. Okay, let's head into the cards. The card changes and some meta updates. So, KAZAR Strong Guy archetype's dead. That's the first thing you need to know. No, Strong Guy is more dead. KAZAR might still be playable. Although, KAZAR is definitely still playable. You might not want to run Okoye anymore. You still might. What could happen here is in the KAZAR decks. Let's talk about KAZAR decks first. So, KAZAR decks, I still think they're very playable. Nerfing KAZAR 1 power is huge, sad. Adjusting Okoye again is pretty sad. People who played Scarlet Witch with KAZAR are also sad. And people who played Strong Guy with KAZAR are like absolutely weeping right now. Oh my gosh. They butchered Strong Guy so bad. Alright. So you might not want to play Strong Guy anymore, and if you're not playing Strong Guy, you are playing Okoye in that spot now. And you have to replace Okoye's one drop spot with another one. So you just might have to look for another one drop to replace Okoye with. Okoye will replace Strong Guy. Strong Guy will not be playable. Blade will not be playable. So you can't play Blade there anymore. Scarlet Witch is no longer considered part of the KAZAR package and is now an actual shocker stat line utility. So Scarlet Witch being played for the utility is still good. No, definitely. Still a playable card for what it does. The utility of randomly swapping out a location for another one can definitely snatch you some games still. But it limits your play on turn 6. So usually Scarlet Witch is still like super playable in turn 5 and turn 6, but it limits the amount of cards you could play it with in a given turn, giving that mana nerf. So yeah. General power level of Scarlet Witch is just went down, but yeah, still use it for what it does. Okay, also. Power level, power level wise goes down. Also simply because you wanted it to be part of the KAZAR package, but as a 2-2, it does what it does. Okay, it's still playable. Even as a 2-2, buff your cards in your deck +1. That's still good. And KAZAR. So let's talk about the other side of KAZAR now. Their answer to the meta was to give the players tools to combat KAZAR with. And the first one to reflect that is Scorpion. The Scorpion adjustment there. Oh, sorry. Okay, there. So they adjusted Scorpion. That's the first thing they did. So if you want to be playing against KAZAR, you want to be running Scorpion. And you want to be running the two cards that they've given us guaranteed, which is Killmonger and Sandman. Sandman less so. The problem with Sandman is it's severely underrated. It's a 4-1. It's a 4-1 with an ongoing of players can only play one card per turn, which means to say you want to be playing a tempo deck, which basically means you want to play 1 drop, 2 drop, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very systematic Marvel snapping, which limits deck building a lot on Sandman's part, so not really a fan. Uh, but Killmonger is a 3-3 with the on reveal of destroy all one costs, including your own. So, but you usually just build around this easily. It's the answer to KAZAR decks, so yeah. They gave players the tools to combat KAZAR instead of destroying KAZAR's identity. That's nice. Let's talk about their nerfs to wave. So they did this in two ways. They nerfed Ghost Rider. The Ghost Rider mana cost nerf makes Ghost Rider still playable, but the power level went down. And they nerfed the Jubilee interaction. So that was a good adjustment to Jubilee. Instead of Jubilee just guaranteeing you Chavez, it now it now just gets a random card from your deck. So yeah. The way you built Wave Jubilee decks was the first half was your low drops, the second half was the six drops you wanted to cheat out. So it now plays better odds, or fairer odds, I'd say. Might be even above actually, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, it just makes the card interaction-wise feel better rather than knowing Jubilee Chavez got him. So yeah, that's good. Those who want to build around Hulkbuster, go ahead. Some outlier changes are Hulkbuster, Ebony Maw, Crossbones. Yeah. Crossbones is here again. Like second patch in a row. And just the wording change again. So English changes. That's good. Ebony Maw is just slightly more playable. Try to build around it if you want. If that's your jam, it's a very high rolly card. But it does for what it does, Ebony Maw, it's like if you get to play it in the early half of the game, you it kind of secures you a lane because of the huge amount of power it invests in the zone very easily. Your opponent might have to invest two cards, so in that sense, you can draw out two cards from your opponent and then try to win the two other lanes. It has a lot more. Um, you can do a lot more with Ebony more than just that, though. If you have like discard effects in your hand, it could tank it if you happen to still have it or draw it in the latter half of the game. So nice buff to Ebony Maw there. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the changes. So mostly gameplay change wise, KAZAR generally nerfed. They buffed people to have tools to play against KAZAR. And the outlier changes of they cleaned up Jubilee, so that was a good Jubilee cleanup. Ghost Rider nerf, still playable. Strong Guy is rest in peace. Strong Guy, oh my gosh, look what they did! Look what they did to my boy! Look what they done to him. Strong Guy in the mana cost of Sword Master, and Sword Master is not playable. But Strong Guy still might be. Depends. We just have to do testing, but yeah, definite butcher to Strong Guy there. Hulkbuster. That's kind of a buff to move, so the interactions with move are better. But move, they did not change move in his balance update, which makes sense because the only thing that mattered from the past 3 weeks was Kazar. Could have seen a more changes to like move and discard for like some reason maybe. But it's okay. It's okay to not change it yet because you really wanted to hit the outliers first. And Kazar was an outlier. So yeah. They nerfed Kazar, they buffed the options to play against it. Alright. Alright, we're good, we're good. Not much else to say there. And then general updates, bug fixes, yeah. Alright, we're good. So that's the patch. Is Kazar still good? Yes. Kazar is still good. Maybe people will be playing. What I predict our week one will look like is people will be playing. So nobody wants to play a nerf deck. People will most likely not be playing Kazar, and then people will still be playing Kazar. But a lot more people will be playing with the Kazar uh, tech options, mainly in Killmonger. So expect to see a lot more Killmonger in the ladder. And to those who don't want to play Kazar or Killmonger, will be playing the cards that play well into Killmonger decks. So there, a lot of people will be racing for that third option there. The decks that beat both Kazar by power level wise, because Kazar's power level went down, and those that could beat the cards that run Killmonger as well. The decks that do Killmonger strategies. Although Killmonger is just a tech card, so people will just be running whatever decks and then slot Killmonger in. You have an answer to Kazar. Easy. So that's good. Alright, well, that's going to be it for me. That's a good patch. Hope you have a good time, and I hope the Nexus event, if ever you're pulling for the gacha, hope your pulls are good. I bless you and your pulls. So yes, take care, and I'll see you all, dummy thick lads and ladettes, in the next one. And see you when I see you. Peace out.